Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to a fun fall themed beginner friendly tutorial. So in this video we're going to use these beautiful sheets of pattern vinyl from GLAMOUR Tribe Vinyl and we're going to create a cute little fall themed design. This is perfect if you're a beginner and you're just starting out with some different techniques, or if you're a more seasoned tumbler maker and you just want to make something cute, simple, and fun for fall. Okay, I hope you'll enjoy the video. Let's go! Okay, so we're starting out with these two sheets of pattern vinyl from GLAMOUR Tribe Vinyl, and I'm going to be working on a 32-ounce plump tumbler from the Tipsy Magnolia. These are really tall and skinny, so they give us a lot of surface area to work with. So when I'm using pattern vinyl, I like to use these because you see more of the vinyl. So we're going to start with our floral pattern here, and we're going to do this pattern on pretty much the entire top half of the tumbler. Now I am measuring to try and get an exact like 50-50 split. You don't have to, you can just eyeball it if you want. I always say nobody's gonna actually like take a ruler and measure to see if your spots are accurate, but I'm gonna measure and then I'm gonna mark a little line on my vinyl to tell me where I need to trim my vinyl down. The name of this first pattern, by the way, is Embroidery Fall Florals. I'll have both patterns linked down below in the description box along with a discount code for you if you want to use the same ones. So once I've got that trimmed down, I'm going to apply it, like I said, to the top half of my tumbler. And I'm going to do this the exact same way I always apply pattern vinyl. I'm going to take a little piece of tape and I'm going to secure one end of the vinyl down to the tumbler and then wrap my vinyl around with the backing still on, making sure that everything lines up and is straight and applied the right way, and then we'll start to actually apply the vinyl to the tumbler. So once that tape is secured onto one end and we've got everything wrapped the right way, I'm going to remove a little sliver of the backing and adhere that piece of vinyl to the tumbler first, and then I'll start to slowly push the vinyl onto the cup with my vinyl scraping tool, making sure that I don't have any wrinkles or air bubbles or anything. The vinyl scraping tool, or squeegee, whatever you want to call it, makes it really, really easy to apply vinyl because it just pushes all of those air bubbles out and you don't have any like wrinkling or anything with the vinyl scraper. It just pushes everything onto your tumbler really nicely. You'll notice that I also left a tiny little sliver of the plain tumbler up above our vinyl, and I did that so that when we go down to sand our top rim, we're not going to sand down any of the vinyl and create any like jagged edges. We've got that nice straight vinyl line and then plenty of room to sand down our epoxy to expose that stainless steel so we can form our final seal with our epoxy later. Now we can move on to the bottom half of our tumbler, and down here I'm going to do 1-inch stripes, and I'm going to use 1-inch painter's tape to create my stripes. If you want to use different size striping here, you absolutely can. If you want more stripes, or if you want just like 2 bigger stripes, you can do whatever sizing you want. I would recommend cutting some stencil vinyl or removable vinyl with your cutting machine to whatever exact measurement you want, and then you can apply those the same way that I'm applying the painter's tape here. I like doing 1-inch wide strips, one because I have the painter's tape already, it's really easy to create the striping that way, and with my measurements, doing the striping in 1-inch increments creates a really nice look. I can have, technically on this cup I have 5 stripes, but that bottom stripe goes all the way down to the very bottom of the tumbler, so it's not an exact 1-inch stripe, that last one, but I think it gives it a really nice look still. So you can create whatever size stripe you want, however many of them you want. It's totally up to you. It's your, I was going to say your financial freedom, but That's not what I mean. It's your artistic freedom. So I'm using my 1-inch stripes. I'm putting one full piece of painter's tape around the bottom edge of the vinyl, and then I'm just using a partial like spacer piece of tape in between my stripes so I'm not wasting a ton of tape. And then I'm going to put another full stripe, and I'm just going to alternate all the way down to the bottom. So the strips that we're going to have with these 2 stripes of stainless steel or just plain tumbler exposed, those are going to be our other pattern of pattern vinyl, and then we're going to do glitter for the other 3 stripes. So we'll go glitter, vinyl, glitter, vinyl, glitter. For the 2 stripes that we're using this other pattern vinyl for, the name of this, by the way, is Embroidery Fall Checks. So we have Embroidery Fall Floral and Embroidery Fall Checks. I cut out 2 strips with my cutting machine that are each 1 inch wide, and I just made them like the full width. I made them like 11 inches long. You don't need all of that length, but I just like working with that length. I have a little bit extra to cut off, and I'd rather have a little bit too much than not enough. So I cut those 2 1-inch strips, and I'm just going to apply them in those 2 stripe sections that we have already laid out with our painter's tape. And I'm going to apply those the same way we applied our larger pattern of vinyl up at the top of the cup. I'm going to remove a little bit of the backing, adhere one little section of the vinyl to the tumbler, wrap it around, make sure everything lines up and is straight, and then we'll actually apply the full stripe of vinyl to the tumbler. After those 2 vinyl stripes have been applied, we can take that painter's tape that's still on our tumbler and just put it over the vinyl striping now to mask those off, so that we have our 3 stripes of tumbler that are exposed so that we can paint and glitter them. Now, when trying to find glitter colors that would coordinate with this design, I wanted to find something that had tones that matched that embroidery check vinyl, but didn't match it perfectly, if that makes sense. There's a lot of orange and cream and like those kinds of tones going on in both of our patterns of vinyl. So I wanted to bring out a few of those darker squares that show up in the checked vinyl to tie everything together. So I decided to use Flannel Shirt and Mauvelous, both from Chase Rae Creations. And I'm going to use Flannel Shirt for 2 of our stripes, and then I'll put Mauvelous as the middle stripe just for a little bit of contrast. Of course, if you wanted to, you could do all 3 stripes, each a different color. You could do them all the same color, totally up to you. Again, you have full creative freedom, not financial freedom, full creative freedom when you are creating any design. I'm using the same base paint and glue mixture for both of my glitter colors. The color of paint I'm using I think is called Barn Red, and it's the Ceramcoat brand of paint. And then I mixed it with my Crystalac glitter glue, and I'm just going to paint each of my stripes all at the same time and then just glitter very carefully, making sure I don't get any of the flannel shirt glitter in this middle stripe section where I want to put my Mauvelous glitter. Now immediately after glittering, I'm going to remove all of the painter's tape that's on my tumbler. I have in the past waited for everything to fully dry before removing the tape, but it is so much easier to just remove your tape right away. Then you don't like set it and forget it. You don't let it sit on there too long, and then your glue dries over your tape and you risk pulling everything up. I would just pull your tape right away and then let your cup sit and completely dry before you move on to your next steps. So for me, I let this dry at least 2 hours, and then I went in and I sealed each of those glitter sections individually with my Crystalac glitter glue and water mixture. Let that dry another 2 hours, and then I added 2 coats of Flynn Sisters Supply Shop Artist Cure Epoxy to the tumbler. Each of the coats was about probably 25 to 30 milliliters. And now at this point where I'm applying my striping, my cup is totally smooth and it's ready for all of this vinyl work. For the vinyl striping on this tumbler, I wanted to change it up just a little bit. So instead of using my usual tried and true champagne gold textured metallic vinyl, I'm just using a plain champagne gold metallic vinyl. So no texture, just a little satin kind of matte look vinyl. So I cut my stripes at 0.1 inches in width, and as you can see, I'm just applying them to each section where our glitter and our vinyl meet. I'm also paying special attention to keeping all of the seams in the same spot on the tumbler. So where the seams are in our pattern vinyl, that's where the seams are also going to be for all of our striping, because I want those all to be in the same place so we don't have random seams strewn about the entire tumbler design. I'm doing a really quick and simple glitter booty on this tumbler with UV resin. I'm using the same glitter we used for the middle stripe, Mauvelous, in the main large well at the bottom of the tumbler. And then I'm going to take a custom kind of champagne gold mix that I created. It's probably got like 20 different glitters in it, and I'm going to use that for the outer smaller rim on the bottom of the cup. Now I'm not like totally wild about how this turned out. I might do something different down here, but this is what it looks like now. I'm toying with just adding like a pattern vinyl circle or something to the bottom. I don't know. If you wanted to, you could add your final coats of epoxy now and be done, but you guys know I love a decal, so I'm going to put a decal on this tumbler and I'm going to put it right over the seam in our floral pattern vinyl. So technically this is the back of the tumbler, but I wanted to cover up that seam just a little bit more. So I'm going to use a file that I hand lettered. I will put it up in my Etsy shop if you would like to use the same one. And it says, "Follow your bliss." For the offset on this decal, I'm using a vinyl that kind of matches these like maroon tones we've got going with our glitter. And I'm going to put that down first, and then I'll go over with the top layer of the decal. And you guys, I just had to do it. I had to do the champagne gold textured metallic vinyl for this decal. I felt like it was just calling to me, and it was like offended that I decided not to use it in my striping. So I'm using it for the decal, and I'm going to apply in typical Mal fashion, word by word. And I think I've figured out why I like to cut my decals up and apply them this way. It's not because I don't think I can do the full decal at once. It's because I really like decal day, and I know I've talked about this before. People don't like decal day, but I love decal day. I love layering vinyl and putting like offsets and stuff together. And so I think I cut my quotes into different words because I just like the process and I want to prolong it. I know that that's like an unpopular opinion or like a hot take, but that's just how I feel. I love layering decals and I really enjoy decal day. Anyway, once our decal is applied, we can go ahead and add our final coats of epoxy. Don't forget to sand down the top rim of your tumbler before you add that final coat to create the final seal with your epoxy. But after that, you'll be all done. So here is the semi-final tumbler design. Like I said, I'm still deciding what to do on the very bottom of the cup, but for the most part, this is all done. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to create something cozy and fall and festive. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of my new videos, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Love you. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I want to say a huge thank you to my channel subscribers, channel members, and a special thank you and shout out to my elite fam over on Patreon. You all make this channel possible, and I am so thankful for you. If you want to get in on the elite experience and get a little bit of extra content from me, you can join at patreon.com/elitefam. All right, here's another video for you to check out. I'll see you there. Love you. Bye.